I've had a positive trading week, and this is what we're going to discuss today, and why a positive week can be more dangerous than it actually looks. Alright, so I'm very happy because I have finally managed to stick to all my rules and all my plans, and every single thing that I told myself that I'm gonna do, I've done it, and it turned out to be positive. So yeah, it really paid off. But there's the problem with that is that you can become overly confident after a positive week. And this is something that's worth discussing, because usually what happens with traders is that you have a positive week and you see all the winners, and then you become confident. You think that you figured it out, and you think that, right now I hold the keys to the market. But then the market somehow changed their lock. So the key is not to become overly confident, but the opposite, to question yourself even more after a positive week. Because what tends to happen is that when you're losing, you're becoming overly analytical, or especially this is the case with me. If I lose, then I'm gonna make sure that the next trade is gonna be a lot better than the next one, because we tend to learn a lot more from the losers than from the trades that turn out to be winners. So after I lose every single time, I'm focusing a lot more when it comes to my entries and the trade management, and how can I actually make this happen so that I somehow, not necessarily a revenge trade, but make better decisions. So then obviously the P&L won't necessarily be greatly affected by the losers. But there's a strange phenomenon that's happening when you are winning, which I can already feel inside of me that it's kind of like has a slight impact when it comes to my trading, which is becoming confident that right now I've got it, and that right now I'm untouchable, and that it's, you have 6 winners in a row, and then you think that, you know what, even if I lose the next one, it's not gonna affect it, and then you lose the other one, and then you lose the other one, and then you lose the other one, and then you're like, oh shit, I actually done something wrong. And that's because you become a lot more confident. So this is what's been happening to me, and today is Saturday, and I've been trading pretty much 3 days this week, which was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And because I had such positive days where maybe I had an 80% win rate, I then decided to stop trading, because I saw myself just wanting to enter positions because it felt good to be winning. I kind of felt that I needed more of that feeling of encouragement, feeling of, that I finally got it. I finally see some results given all the work that I put in previously. And so I wanted to feel more of that. But then I stopped. Thursday and Friday, I decided to completely stop trading and to really dive deep into this feeling, because it didn't really feel right. And so I remember 2 years ago, I was reading a book, and I don't necessarily, I cannot remember who's the author of the book or the name of the book, but I remember reading something like, you shouldn't celebrate your winners, because the moment you celebrate your winners, then you're gonna be greatly affected by the losses. And so ideally you should be in a totally clean state after every win and after every loss, because that's exactly what's gonna keep you running, and that's exactly what's gonna keep your psychology intact, regardless of the outcome of every single trade. And so because I remember that thing, and because I haven't really mastered my emotions yet when it comes to trading, the best decision for me was just to purely stop. And because I've done that, it turned out to be, well, a lot more positive, because I had time to recover myself emotionally, and then I know what to expect next week, which is not to engage in trades that don't match my system perfectly. Because this is what happens with traders, is that you have a winning streak, and then after that you just hit a lot of losses, because again the confidence grows, and then you tend to overlook certain things from a system and trade slightly outside the system because you, or better said, everybody feels like they've got it. So this is what I want to share with you for this week. This is where I'm at. I've talked a lot of fear and survival mode, and I've talked a lot about my negative emotions, and I still believe that that is a great way to learn and to improve when it comes to trading. Like, I feel like we learn a lot more from the losers than we learn from the winners. But then there are still lessons that can be extracted from the winners, right? And this is just a very concrete case where this is what's been happening to me. So yeah, I hope this will be beneficial, and I hope that this is something that you can relate to as well, because everybody goes through the same sort of emotions when it comes to trading. And it's funny because I never thought that I'm going to be in a position where I'm just going to restrict myself from celebrating the winners. But this is the right path, because this is the only way that can keep my emotions intact, right? And this is something that eventually will help me in the long run. Again, I don't want to feel on top of the world, because I know that going to have a negative impact on my future trades. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope that you can relate to this. And yeah, it feels great. I'm not gonna lie, it still feels great. Although the key here is to become aware of these feelings. And self-awareness alone can be powerful enough to help you override and to help you conquer your emotions. And this is pretty much what I'm doing here. This is probably my real edge when it comes to the markets, is that my self-awareness tends to be quite high. So because I can see myself engaging in certain behaviors or wanting to engage in certain behaviors, I can foresee myself doing all these things that I shouldn't be doing. That gives me the power to actually make better decisions. So yeah, this is it for this week. This is a short video that I wanted to make. This is something that I know I'm gonna look back at it, and then I'm going to be proud of myself for stepping back from trading, because the emotions were quite high. And this is discipline. And discipline can come in many forms and many ways, although this is also part of discipline, like knowing when to step back, when you have to step back. So yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching, and make sure you stay around, because what I'm really doing here is to just expose all my emotions and all the things that I'm going through as a developing trader. And so everybody who really embarks on this journey will have access to my journal, which is pretty much what you're seeing right now. And I hope this is going to make your journey better and easier, because then you know what to expect from yourself as well. And it's not going to be all black. Then you can have something to relate to. And by seeing this, I hope it will greatly benefit you in the future. So stay around for more, and I'll see you in the next one.